Is this audience going to witness professional bowling history today? Pete Weber is going for an 11th major championship to pass the legendary Earl Anthony, but he's got to climb the ladder to do it. It is the PBA's signature event, the Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions. As its name implies, only the very best of the best can compete here. And in today's edition, that includes Hall of Famer Pete Weber. At 54 years old, PDW is still very much a threat, seeking to climb a stepladder full of major championship winners, including reigning Player of the Year, E.J. Tackett, 18-time PBA titleist Tommy Jones, and PBA World Champions Dom Barrett and Tom Smallwood. Can Weber really survive against such overwhelming odds and collect his third TOC and 11th major championship? And welcome to the Fire Lake Arena for what may be bowling history today. The Fire Lake Tournament of Champions, a major, all part of Big February on the PBA Tour. Now let's meet our 5 finalists. Here's our in-house MC, Dennis McCamery.
Welcome to the Fire Lake Tournament of Champions. Here are your finalists. With 37 career PBA Tour titles and going for his 3rd Tournament of Champions, titled the number 5 seed from St. Ann, Missouri, PDW Pete Weber. He won the 2009 PBA World Championship. The number 4 seed from Saginaw, Michigan, Tom Smallwood. The number 3 seed won his first major by capturing the 2013 PBA World Championship from Colchester, England, Dom Barrett. The number 2 seed is no stranger to danger with 18 PBA Tour titles from Simpsonville, South Carolina, Tommy Jones. It's not summer, but he's already burning hot. Winner of the 2016 PBA World Championship and reigning Player of the Year, the number 1 seed from Huntington, Indiana, E.J. Tackett. Here are your 5 finalists in the Fire Lake Tournament of Champions.
Feel good enough for you? With the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for joining us. And while we do have 5 remarkable finalists, let's face it, all the eyes are on this opening match. So I'll ask you the question that's on everybody's mind here. Can Pete Weber run the ladder at 54 and win this title?
Of course he can. He's Pete Weber. You know, what's interesting is that he actually did that 30 years ago when he won his first Tournament of Champions back in 1987. Pete's eye is on the big prize, Dave. It's capturing 11 majors and becoming the only player to do that in history. But today's field is star-studded. Every player on the telecast today is a major champion. And the road to victory today still goes through our reigning Player of the Year, E.J. Tackett.
And he is at the top of our stepladder as we take a look. The opening match will be PDW against Tom Smallwood. Then the dominator, Dom Barrett, a major champion in his own right in the number 3 position. Tommy Jones looking for title number 19 in the number 2. And then at the top of the ladder, the hottest player in the world right now, E.J. Tackett. Meantime, the man who all eyes are on, Pete Weber, is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. I am lameside with Pete. Pete, it's been 30 years since you won your first major. It just happened to be this event, and you are no less dynamic today. So tell me, what is your mindset coming into today, which could be your 11th major win?
Well, Kimberly, I'm just going to try and make the best shots I know how to make, stay ahead of the breakdowns on the lane, and hopefully just throw more strikes than the other guys do. So, but, you know, if I get lucky enough to win, then I'm going to be really happy.
All right, then. Well, thank you so much for your time, Pete. Guys, it's always a great show when this guy's on the lanes. Let's see how he does today.
Kimberly and Pete, thank you very much. You know, 30 years ago, guess what happened? Pete Weber won this title in Akron, Ohio. The Ebonite Tournament of Champions, our Ebonite flashback. And he ran the stepladder in that one. Look at who he beat. Mark Roth was in this.
Mike Albee. There's Art Trask minus the fro. And in the title match, Pete would take on Jim Murdishaw. It's amazing how little the ball reaction was back then compared to today.
Now, this is the first of 2 TFC wins for Weber. That one, of course, the good old Firestone Tournament of Champions. The second one came in 2013. And as Randy mentioned, a third TFC is significant, but most significant of all would be an 11th major championship for Pete. He would be at the top. And we are ready to go, and he will lead off on the left-hand lane. Now, let's remind everybody that this is the first time we've used these lanes in competition this week. We've seen that movie before.
I see it move.
And I'm not sure what he saw move. Maybe somebody had a sign down there.
Well, it's not the first time that we've seen Pete a little agitated, but it started a little early. That's just one shot in the books. But
yeah, sometimes, and you mentioned it in the 30 for 30 short on him, he'll lock in on something else, and it helps him focus. And Tom Smallwood leaves behind a lot of trouble right there. And I would say this. First off, Randy, tell us about this oil pattern before we talk about Tom.
39 feet in length, and over at the Fire Lake Bowling Center, the scoring pace was just ridiculous. The players started around second arrow and then just kind of migrated in. But tons of 300 games over at Fire Lake. Big scores, big averages.
Great coverage that time. And one of the things we talked about before the telecast is that of all the players on the tour who have the right demeanor for this spotlight with everything Pete, it's Tom Smallwood, who's utterly fearless.
Yeah, and we saw that in position round against Belmonte. Nothing fazed him. He shot 258 to lock himself on the telecast.
With 7 straight strikes to finish. And Tom's been through this ringer too as a major champion in 2009. That's through the nose. 3-6-10 left behind there.
Watched the players practice over here yesterday and then again this morning, and they said that over here the arena played different than the bowling center, that the middle's hooked more, and you can see it right there. Smallwood gets that ball in just a pinch, and it's the 3-6-10.
Little confab there with ball reps. Tim Mack, Jim Callahan with BDW. Oh no! You never want to see a ringing 10 and a 3-6-10, so an open frame in the second here for Smallwood.
Well, he misses left and then chops the 3 and the 6, or excuse me, chops the 6 off of the 10 pin.
So Weber of the early 14-pin advantage.
See a little perspiration on the forehead of Weber. He's starting to look, starting to sweat a little bit like Shaquille O'Neal at the free throw line, something we don't always see with PDW. He's always pretty cool.
That's going to help.
That soft hand and soft speed with his rotation, and he's able to get it back from that spot. It looks like he's using 2 different bowling balls right out of the gate.
Well, Pete has battled some hip and back issues. And just a couple of months ago, he barely got through the World Series of Bowling. We take a look at his arsenal. So both the Alpha Crux and the Wreckham in play right now.
It looks like Wreckham on the left lane, Alpha Crux on the right.
And a code black standing by in case of emergency, break glass. That's okay. That broke up trouble there. That was a little bit through the nose, and he just left with the 4-pin.
Looked like a pretty good shot here, and then just right at the last foot or so, the ball goes left. And Weber's okay with that, just a 4-pin.
Oh, he had a little problem on the approach there. He got it.
Well, this is something you rarely see with Pete Weber. He's always got great footing. He actually stuck, but no foul. He stayed behind the foul line.
You know, in the qualifying, his spare shooting really saved him because he admitted he got tired a couple of times during qualifying, but he kept his spare shooting and avoided big disasters, and that really helped him. Smallwood, that's a lot better. Left a quiet 10 there.
So throughout the telecast, I'll be able to communicate with all of the tour consultants for the bowling ball companies. As you see this shot by Smallwood, I'm trying to get some intel from Brunswick Tour rep, tour consultant Chuck Gardner.
Smallwood down 23 through 3. Tom with 2 PBA Tour titles. And you see his arsenal using the fix right now.
Yeah, and Chuck Gardner's telling me that it's his medium one. So he's got a couple of different fixes drilled differently, and this is kind of the medium reacting fix in his line.
And there's the 4-9 that was broken up on that same lane for Weber, but now Smallwood staring at it.
Yeah, pretty unlucky here, but this looked like it was a little bit inside of target when he let go of it, and then he paid for it. 4-9 split for Smallwood.
Saw the ball go right by the 9. Gonna go directly for it and get it. And Weber acknowledging that fine shot. Here's our hammer tough spare replay.
Yeah, just a great shot by Tom Smallwood to keep himself in the game.
So Pete, who's stuck on the left lane when shooting a 4-pin, will be on the right lane. Well, he doesn't like it. Yeah, you could hear him grumble about that shot.
Gotta get it to the right. Gotta get it.
Yeah, big left. And Tim Mack, the tour consultant for Storm, tells me that the right lane is really tight, and so that's why Pete Weber's using 2 different bowling balls.
Well, we bragged about Pete's spare shooting. Here's a tough one here. We've already seen this missed by Smallwood. Not that time. When you pocket that 3-6, you can't go wrong.
I think one of the things that a lot of folks forget about Pete Weber is he's one of the best spare shooters ever.
So to the 5th frame, Weber up by 22. They had met before on television, and that one went to PDW, the 2013 PBA World Championship. That was a major.
Smallwood, I think half of the shows that he's made have all been majors.
That's got to come back, and it's a little bit late, and now trouble for Pete.
Well, that one he trusted to the right, and it hung. He's left himself with a 210. This looks pretty good, but maybe just a little bit fast.
So he'll attack, and he'll cover it.
Hey, was I the guy that said Pete Weber was one of the best spare shooters of all time?
I don't know. Let's ask our truck if we can re-rack the tape on that. Yes, it was you.
Okay. Just checking, just making sure you were listening.
I was. Well, if you're going to win an 11th major and be the top major winner of all time, you got to earn it. And he earned it in qualifying, and he earned it with that. So Tom Smallwood, who might have thought the door was opening for him, he's going to have to kick it down himself. And that's a start.
And that was a ball change for Smallwood. He goes to a Zeno. It rolls a little bit smoother. big drip to the left. Hit him thin, watch him spin. Nice ball change by Smallwood. Let's see how this ball reacts on the left lane. Remember, right lane looks to be tighter, especially down lane.
Of course, Tom Smallwood's story, well known around the tour, was laid off from a job in Michigan at General Motors, so went out, decided, okay, I'm going to bowl the PBA Tour Trials in 2009. That is a big break.
Huge break.
And earned a spot on tour with shots like that. Got a break. So it's close, just 10 pins separating PDW and Tom Smallwood as Weber chases professional bowling history. It is time for our extra frame tournament highlights. And oh yeah, there's a real shock that E.J. Tackett's #1.
He grabbed the lead late Friday night and never looked back.
Tommy Jones loves to bowl in this building.
A lot of confidence for TJ coming in.
But not so much Dom Barrett, at least until now.
Dom Barrett started off slow, but a big 290 in Game 7 locked up the #3 seed.
If you're wondering why last week's winner, Jason Belmonte, didn't make the show, it came down pretty much to that shot.
Disastrous 2-for-8-10 in the 7th. Weber makes the 10 pin. He locks up the #5 spot.
Tom Smallwood took the 4 spot with a blistering 258 featuring 7 consecutive strikes to close out the game to make the show. So here is PDW. The glasses are back on. He's ready to roll. His wife Tracy here next to Commissioner Clark. And PDW's leads down to 10 with Smallwood having thrown up a double in frames 5 and 6. That might work. Got a kick on the 10.
That was a great shot. He trusted it right. Remember the last time on that lane he went high, and as we take a look at some of our other finishers, Norm Duke just missing the telecast, and he was in the top 5, it seemed like, all week long until the last couple of games of the tournament.
Belmo in 7th. You see Mitch Beasley also was all around that top 5 till near the end. Young Marshall, Kent, Wes Malott, Sean Rash. High scores on the last day, just not good enough. B.J. Moore, Stuart Williams, and Anthony Lavery Spar, your top 16.
In back-to-back tournaments where we did not have match play and 30 bonus pins for winning your match.
It's going to turn left and go high, and there's the 3-6-10 again for Pete, who had 10 300 games across the street at the Fire Lake Bowling Center, and PDW had 2 of those.
Well, remember Pete got it to the right and went 210, so the natural instinctive move is to go a little bit more up the lane. Pete does and goes through the face.
And he'll pocket that again.
As you mentioned, 10 300 games, 2 by Matt O'Grady, 2 by Weber.
That one pretty good.
Dom Barrett had 1, E.J. Tackett had 1.
And Barrett and Tackett on the show. Barrett, the #3 seed, E.J. at the top of the ladder.
This match is turned around in a hurry, and Smallwood with a strike here can tie it up.
Guy who just seems utterly unfazed by his surroundings. That's a good looking ball right there. The 7-pin late to the party, but down it goes. And you know something he said to us yesterday, Randy, he says, you know, it's just bowling. My life's not going to change if I don't win this. It'll be okay. And I think that attitude really helps him.
Well, it's easy to think that if I don't win this, your life's not going to change. But what about how much your life would change if you did win?
Well,
that's the hard thing not to think about. But he's so cerebral in everything he does in terms of his approach to the game.
We're even through 7. Smallwood on a run of 3 straight strikes.
All even.
He liked it.
All right, Lucky. That wasn't very good.
Well, I thought he liked it. Then he just said it wasn't very good.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing on this left lane because a little bit right of that shot there, and I'm not sure the ball gets to the pocket at all. So the right lane, or excuse me, the left lane looks like there's hang to the right and hook to the left.
Routine cover for Tom. We head to the 8th. My bad, he says. Tom Barrett awaits the winner.
Weber gets to finish the match on the right lane, and I think that's an advantage for him because I think he's pretty confident in what that lane is giving him.
And Pete taking his time, you see that he does have the edge in max scores. In fact, he's requested and received a re-rack on that right lane. Big turn, and that looked a lot like Tom Smallwood's shot on the left lane.
It was just a pinch inside of his target. He threw it well. Remember, he got one outside of first arrow not too long ago that got back, so.
Well, as you would expect in a major championship, sometimes you have to do the little things right in order to advance, and that's what both these players are doing now, doing the little things right, covering their spares. Completely even through 8.
Big shot here. If Weber strikes, he can't be shut out.
Making the turn. Got it.
What a great shot. Beautiful release of Pete Weber, and that ball was directed on the intended line, and that was 10 in the pit. Watch the open hand, trademark Weber. There it is. See all 5 digits pointing to the ceiling.
Yep, the 37-time titleist now has to sit and watch. Smallwood, perfection, kick save and a beauty on the 10.
That one kind of bounced a little in the front part of the lane and may have taken a little bit off of that reaction, but great pin action there as the 6 goes to the sidewall, taking the 10 out. And again, folks, all tied up, heading into the 10th frame. Max score for both players, 223.
I love that graphic. It was a great start to this second part of Big February in Major Championship. 3 in a row. We had one last week. Now the TFC. That's the best shot in the left lane either bowler has thrown there.
Yeah, that was really, really good. All the pressure will be back on Weber now because Weber has to match what Smallwood does. 2 more. Weber will need all 3 in the 10th just for a tie.
But this is classic Tom Smallwood, though. This is how he rolls, pardon the expression. And the 10 goes down.
Well, that was a little bit right, and it got back, wow, extremely hard.
Keep missing there.
Watch this, and you heard Tom say, keep missing there. I'm not sure he expected the ball to do what it just did, but I'll tell you what, that's a great sign if you're Tom Smallwood. Now you know you have a little bit of right. A little bit of left of target, a little bit of right of target. One more strike, Pete Weber will need all 3 in the 10th for a tie.
And that's exactly what has to happen for Pete. The glasses go back on. He knows no thinking involved here. Throw strikes or you're out.
Yeah. Pete looked a little perturbed at that trip 4. He kind of gave it a little stink eye.
Okay.
Trying for that 11th major championship, and he has to strike out and then win a roll-off.
This is what the Tournament of Champions is all about.
Gotta hurry. Nope, not gonna happen. happen. Tom Smallwood's going to move on to the match against Dom Barrett. And for Pete, a tremendous tournament will come to an end, and that 11th major will have to wait till maybe next week at the Masters in Las Vegas. And of course, because he's a great spare shooter, I heard somewhere, he covers that. Moving on is Tom Smallwood, his opponent, Dom Barrett. Time for our Columbia fun fact. 6 PBA Hall of Famers bowled in this year's Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions, including 2017 Hall of Fame inductees Brian Goebel and Mike Scroggins. I tried to talk Randy into entering, but he said he didn't want to have to work hard. He just wanted to do TV. That's what I was
I never said that. I
Uh,
said I stink. I can't pull this tournament.
in my mind. Now, at one time, you were at this Hall of Fame dinner being honored. PBA Commissioner Tom Clark there, and of course, that's a big night for the award winners. Rhino Page
Good for you.
wins the Community Service Award. Tom Smallwood, the Sportsmanship Award. The Harry Golden Rookie of the Year is the spectacular young Canadian Francois Lavoie. And the Chris Schenkel Player of the Year, of course, is E.J. Tackett, who comes from the same hometown as Chris Schenkel in Indiana. When you think of Chris Schenkel, you of course think of the Hall of Famer, the brilliant announcer Bo Burton, and the Hall of Famers.
Al is long overdue for Brian Goebel. And then our former commissioner, Mark Urbrick, who basically started kind of down the totem pole, if you will, and ended up the commissioner of the tour, Steve Hoskins. He won a couple of Touring Players Championships, and then there was always a party at Scroggy's. Overdue for those 3 players, and certainly a great honor for Mark Urbrick.
What a great night for all involved there at the Hall of Fame dinner. And Brian Goebel is here today. 2017 Hall of Fame inductee. Great to have Brian in the building. And we are ready now for our next match in a moment. Dom Barrett from England, Tom Smallwood from Saginaw, Michigan. The winner will take on Tommy Jones in the Tournament of Champions. Inside the Fire Lake Arena. Great crowd on hand here. Shawnee, Oklahoma. The Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions. And Pete Weber's quest for that 11th major put on hold by Tom Smallwood with a 20-pin victory. Now Smallwood goes into the next match with the Englishman, Dom Barrett, who is a 2013 PBA World Champion.
Title match against Sean Rash on the very same lanes that the players are pulling on today. How about that react? Do you think he liked it?
I think he won, in case there was any question. Will we get that same reaction today? I don't know, but he's standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So, Dom, you had a pretty good 2016. The last time you were on TV, you got a 2nd and a 3rd place. What do you have to focus on today to try and take your 2nd major win?
Yeah, that's a good question. You get asked a lot when you make finals, but same thing really. I've had a good week so far. I bowled really well. I just want to keep doing that.
Now, these are the same pairs that you won your other championship on. Does that give you an advantage?
Yeah, I heard rumors it was the same pair of lanes, and yeah, it makes me feel at home. You know, I like the setting. There's plenty of people here making a great atmosphere, and going to try and use all the energy I can to throw a lot of strikes.
All right, well, good luck to you today. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Kimberly and Dom, thank you very much. Dom with 4 PBA Tour titles, his last in 2014, and guitar. He's won that event twice, as a matter of fact. Tom Smallwood, a 2-time champion, both these men with majors. The other victory for Tom Smallwood was the 2013 PBA Scorpion Championship in Vegas. And that's the same city that held the World Championship that Dom Barrett won. And where we will be next week with the USBC Masters to conclude Big February. You see Tom Smallwood, what he started with and what he has done since. And that through the face, and that 10's going to wobble, but it's not going anywhere, and a tough break.
Well, he's been sitting for a while. He came off of three in a row there in the 10th frame to make Weber match that. And last shot, he tripped the 4-pin. This time it goes through the face, and he's now looking at the 4-7-10.
Gonna go for it. Gonna go for it.
Oh, good.
So our first look from Colchester, England, at Dom Barrett. You can find him, by the way, on Twitter at Dom_Barrett. Three-time World Bowling Writers Bowler of the Year at the end of the last decade. No problem. 10 is tripped. And let's go down to the floor. Kimberly is standing by with PDW.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I'm joined with Pete. You know what? You looked like you were in charge at the beginning of that match, and you even had that great 210 split conversion in the fifth, but that right lane was giving you some issues. What happened?
The right lane seemed to bounce a little bit more when the ball hit the lane. It seemed to bounce up, and the shot in the 10th, it just kind of hit the lane, and it bounced dead right on me, and it just took some of the roll off the ball, and it just didn't have enough on it to finish.
So how do you wipe the slate clean and prepare for next week's major?
This is over. Got to go to the Masters and be ready for the Masters. So my mindset is go to the Masters and do the same thing you did here.
All right, well, good luck to you next week, and thank you so much for joining me here, guys.
Pete and Kimberly, thank you very much, and I'm not going to bet against PDW in another major championship field. Meantime, Dom Barrett with one of the more fortunate breaks you will see on today's telecast.
Pete Weber's last 3 majors, he went 6th, 7th, 5th.
And these major formats are demanding 39 games of qualifying to get in here. The USBC Masters will see match play, best of 3 with a loser's bracket. And if you get knocked down there, you can make the show, but you're going to have to work hard. Meantime, Smallwood, perfect.
I'm sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, that's all I have to say, really.
Last place you want to end up is the loser's bracket at the USBC Masters. It's bowling's equivalent of purgatory, and you just don't want to go there because once you get there, you could be bowling for like the next 3 years.
Yeah, actually, I think someone is still in that loser's bracket from 2014. Right? Still working his way out of it. Tommy Jones standing by to face the winner of this match. Tom Smallwood got into a little bit of a hole with an open in the first frame. But one way to kick your way out of that hole is to double.
Back-to-back jacks for Smallwood to get back in it after the opening in the first frame. And take a look at Dom Barrett's arsenal. He's going with a Maverick Pearl. And speaking with his tour consultant for Evernight International, Rob Gotzel, he told me he actually has 3 of them, but he's going to use the one that's actually the strongest layout. It's an asymmetrical ball, the real quick cover.
Oh, and a ring in 10. Oh, it was a good-looking shot on the right-hand lane.
We're going to be talking a little bit more about layouts in our next segment.
That's right, and we have something very unique that Randy's going to be pointing out in that segment.
Beautiful shot here. Rob Gotzel also tells me that the left lane picks up much faster, and we kind of saw that in our opening match. A little bit tighter down lane on the right, left lane hooks more.
Well, Rob's an excellent player in his own right.
He is.
Yeah, he knows.
You know, and it's all about shaping, getting your ball to shape a certain way. And when we watched Dom Barrett over at Fire Lake Bowling Center, that was one of the things that he did better than anyone, especially late. He could get way in, increase his angle, and really shape it around the corner.
He had a really funky strike on this left-hand lane, so we'll see what adjustment he makes.
Yeah, it was kind of nosedive / Brooklyn.
I think he made a nice adjustment.
Interesting how much deeper Dom is than Smallwood or Weber, for that matter. He's inside a 4th arrow, going out to about 8. You got to have the rev rate and the rotation to be able to play that kind of angle.
Here's 39-year-old Tom Smallwood. You can't be serious.
Crossover to get 710. That's a pretty fair break there.
I think this is the worst break in our sport, and it's because now you throw a pretty good shot and you can't even come away with a spare.
And a tap on the 7 just to really tease him into thinking it might break it up.
It's only been made 3 times on television.
How many times have you made it in your life?
7.
Not that you've counted.
Well, when it's only 7, it's easy to remember.
These two have met before at the PBA World Championship in 2016. That's when Tom Smallwood almost climbed all the way up. Well, he did climb up the ladder, but he ran into E.J. Tackett, who won the tournament. Great recovery. That's 10 straight back.
Tom Smallwood taking a little sidestep left and chasing Dom Barrett to the inside part of the lane. Don't count Smallwood out yet, folks.
Well, we talked quite a bit about his mental toughness. He certainly hasn't counted himself out.
Over the course of 39 games, you'd think you'd get quite the workout wiping just the oil off the bowling ball. I mean, Dom Barrett was giving that thing a beating.
Yeah, I thought so. He has had 2 big breaks on strikes now.
Well, Smallwood didn't care for the crossover he had in the second. He's certainly not going to like that.
Here's our Barbasol close shave of the day.
Watch this leaner. The 6-pin goes to the sidewall, into the gutter, and just leans on the 10. It's kind of like when you're trying to hold up your drunk friend at a party.
Yeah, he's not overly joyed about it, but he'll take it. Gives him a big lead through 5. Oh, yeah, that's no doubt on that. Just say goodbye to the 10-pin. And Dom Barrett has opened up a 44-pin lead. Couple of open frames for Tom Smallwood, and right now the breaks are going Barrett's way.
Why?
We'll come back with the conclusion of match number 2 of the Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions. Our next ESPN Big Monday doubleheader is another ACC Big 12 doubleheader. Miami and number 14 Virginia tip off at 7 Eastern from Charlottesville. Then we're going to move on to Morgantown for number 9 West Virginia hosting Texas. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. I can't wait for this. Time for Randy and the Track Tech Talk.
All right, so take out all of these bowling balls here. There's E.J. Tackett's pin. That's Tommy Jones's pin. Dom Barrett, Pete Weber. And this is Tom Smallwood. Look at where that pin placement is. Well, folks, the reason why is because Tom Smallwood throws a full roller. He tracks in between the fingers and thumb. He has to put the pin there. If he doesn't, his bowling ball will flare over the thumb hole. No bueno.
Thank you, Randy, for that one.
He actually has a layout that looks upside down to everyone else's, to the traditional layouts.
And also thanks to the ball guys for helping out, hustling that together, and Randy for putting that together this morning. Now, Tom Smallwood, get a good look there at what Randy was speaking of, but Tom's got a bit of a dilemma here, down 44. All he can do.
Miss there. Just keep missing there.
That's the second time he said that.
Come on, man.
He's one bad break away from being right in this match if he strikes in the 4th frame. Instead, it was an open at pocket 710. But if you're wondering what creates that unusual roll, that track, that full roller track, it's his release. Look at how he rolls it up on his wrist. Great job.
Not over yet. Not over yet.
Well, that's for sure, Tom. Only down 24 now. But Dom Barrett has had a few breaks go his way. A bizarre semi-Brooklyn strike that fell for him, and then a very late kiss on the 10. Barrett's riding a string of 3 straight. for Dom Barrett. The PBA has an all-new line of officially licensed PBA apparel and merchandise available online. Included in the new line are signature polos and T-shirts featuring Earl Anthony, Mark Roth, and Dick Weber. Simply head to PBA.com and click on the Shop PBA link in the main menu to check out the new designs. Randy, while we have a re-rack, we also want to take a moment and send a message out to a member of our crew.
Yeah, a member of our production team, our associate director, Ken Henderson. He had to fly home. He was actually here with us getting prepared for this show, and unfortunately his mother passed away a couple of days ago, so Kenny got on a plane this morning and flew back to Newark, New Jersey. Ken, we love you, and we're sending you prayers and thoughts to you and your family.
So the re-rack complete, and Barrett now on the left-hand lane. That's nothing lucky about that shot.
Yeah, he's making the lanes look stupid easy right now.
And so all that work that Smallwood did with his double has been pushed right back.
The only blemish on the scorecard for Dom Barrett is a ring and 10 in the third, but right now it's a rout. 44-pin lead for Dom Barrett.
Smallwood is answering back. The problem is his max will not be enough. But there you see, that's his attitude. He's not going to quit swinging. I mean, the best he can do, and I say this tongue-in-cheek, the best he can do is a 245. But Barrett's rocking, what, a 279 pace?
Well, he's 279 if he takes off the sheet. He's high 240s right now. Smallwood needs to sheet it. Dom Barrett, well, he just needs to throw another strike here in the 9th and then mark in the 10th, and he'll shut out Tom Smallwood. That's a great bat head of Brett Spangler, by the way.
Yeah, you can see right away. There's that telltale raising of the shoulders, standing straight up.
One of the game. That's not good. All right. Well.
I'm not sure Smallwood ever got deep enough on the left lane.
And he'll chop it, and that should take care of business. Tom Smallwood looking like he's got a 4th place finish after defeating Pete Weber in our opening match and blocking Pete from reaching an 11th major championship and 38th tour title. You've got a really accomplished player standing in the wings. Coming up, Tommy Jones looking for his 19th tour title and his first major in 10 years. 7-pin stiffed Dom Barrett that time.
He's just kind of testing the water right now, or the waters right now, for his upcoming match against Tommy Jones. He probably moved in a little bit there to see if he could get it back. And that's probably where he will start the next match against Tommy Jones, who we just saw.
So Tom Smallwood is defeated by Dom Barrett. And next up will be the number 2 and number 3 seed, Dom Barrett. Tom Smallwood with E.J. Tackett standing by. Let's go back to 2007, the last time Tommy Jones captured a major, and it was the PBA TFC.
The only thing that looks different to me is he had more hair, but it's the same brilliant game, the power game of Tommy Jones.
And he is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. So, Tommy, it's been 10 years since you won a major. It just happened to be the Tournament of Champions. And when we spoke yesterday, you said that at some point since then, you felt like you were just going through the motions, that you didn't think you had it in it to win, but you're standing up here today. So what's changed for you physically or mentally?
Well, I would just try to approach each tournament the same way, but, you know, been working really hard on trying to get a little softer, getting my ball speed down a little bit. You know, as I got older, my rev rate changed a little bit. It wasn't quite as high as it used to be. So, you know, just the change of it, and you know, watch all the greats do it. So we're trying to follow in their footsteps.
Now let's talk about your game real quick, because I saw you take some practice shots. What's your plan for this right lane that was giving everybody some issues?
Well, I think I'm going to move to the right. You know, they seem to be a little different in here than they were in the bowling center all week. So just going to try to go with my gut, and that's to play the right and see what happens.
All right, thanks so much, and good luck to you. Guys, we'll send it back to you in the booth.
Dave, it sounds to me like he's going to play the lanes completely different. Let's take a look at where we're seeing the most traffic. Here's the right lane, and you're seeing this in between third and fourth arrow, just a little bit deeper on the left lane. But I think all of the hook on the left lane is coming early. I think the balls tend to read a little bit sooner on the left lane than they do on the right lane.
And here we go with Tommy Jones. By the way, it would be pretty cool if, and I have no idea about the cost of putting blue oil, but for league bowlers, I think that would be a lot of fun for them to see how the lanes are transitioning in their leagues as well. Tommy on the left lane to start. 18-time titleist. Coming out way right and just barreling up and down go the pins. So we'll take a look now at Dom Barrett.
Okay, well, 26, he's through 2 shots. 7.5.
Dom on TV title matches, if he can get there, is 2-4 lifetime. His career television record is now 10-8. This is his 11th television appearance. And that went snappy and blasted him.
Rob Gottschall's telling me that Dom is playing the left lane 4 to 5 boards different. So he's probably 5 different with his feet and 2 or 3 with his target. And that's how much sparkier the left lane is. Speed control on the right lane, crucial, especially if you miss target a little bit to the right. Dom can be a little more aggressive on the left lane.
Well, he made a big adjustment in the left lane. After going Brooklyn on his first shot, which struck, he buried in the pocket the rest of the time. That one snapped left, much like the first ball he threw on that lane in the previous game.
Thrown better ones than that before in my life.
Meantime, Tom Smallwood is standing by with Kimberly Pressler. Kimberly.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Tom, it looks like you had a little bit of a rough start. Then you had that 7-10 split in the fourth. What changed for you since the first match?
They broke down a tiny bit during his practice session. Came in off the break. Threw a really good shot and split. So, trying to get over that and made the adjustments. And, then the 7-10 kind of hurt when he was striking a lot, and just couldn't really recover from it. I could strike on 9th and 10th for 240. And I threw a bad one. And realistically, 240 wasn't going to beat him anyway. But he bowled great and deserved to win. He bowled a great match.
Well, you still did a great job. Thanks so much for talking to me. And congratulations on making it this far.
Thank you so much.
And
thank you, Tom and Kimberly.
Another solid week for Smallwood is take a look at Tommy Jones using urethane from the extreme outside part of the lane.
Came up just a touch light, left one back. All right, so why urethane?
Better than that.
Urethane allows him to stay farther right, stay away from the middle part of the lane, stay away from the traffic. And he told me earlier that he actually has friction out there, so he can stay aggressive.
Tommy, of course, won in Reno the PBA Scorpion Championship in December of 2016. Also won the Downham's Waste Services PBA Jonesboro Open presented by Extra Frame in Arkansas in 2016. Got it. Got a piece of it. Looks like he's headed for some equipment. So a new ball here perhaps for Tommy? No, he didn't take a ball out. And we take a look at his arsenal.
Black Hammer, straight urethane. He actually won an Extra Frame event throwing urethane. Climbed the step ladder and beat everybody throwing urethane bowling ball. You don't see that a whole lot anymore.
And got a break there. Took down a reluctant 2-pin. So even through 2.5.
Come on now.
Of course. If you watched the PBA World Championship, you saw Don Barrett lose to Tom Smallwood. Finished third in Reno at the stadium. Oh, my goodness.
Close enough.
That's enough of watching a ridiculously sturdy 9-pin.
Well, he's locked in on this right lane. It's the left lane from way in that's going to be the big question mark, as you can see the ball go right by the 9-pin.
Nam also made a finals appearance in 2016 at the DAC PBA Japan Invitational. He was the top seed there and lost to Amleto Monticelli.
Same thing.
And take a look at how these two players are playing the left lane completely different. You see Tommy Jones is laying the ball down at about the 5 or 6 board, and Barrett's about 16 left of that.
On the speed on that one. Boy, that was a beautiful, beautiful strike for Barrett.
It looks like the left lane you have to be aggressive with your speed. The right lane you have to be soft. A lot of friction on the left lane and wiggle on the right lane. You get a little firm on that right lane and it's going to blow right through the end of the pattern. But that doesn't affect what Tommy Jones is doing. He's throwing straight up urethane, going straight up the outside part of the lane.
Tommy went through a period in his career not that long ago where he had a few doubts, thought he was just sort of showing up and not really thinking he had a chance to win, but that all has changed recently. And 4-pin will stay up. He's gotten back that winning attitude that he had earlier in his career. I mentioned he is an 18-time tour titleist.
Well, Tommy liked this shot. It looked pretty good as well, but just a pinch light, leaving that light 4-pin.
And the man voted the 30th greatest player in PBA history in 2009 picks up that pin.
I think you brought up a great point. That he's been working on trying to become a factor again. And, you know, we started seeing that about a year and a half ago, and he turned things around. 2 wins last year, as you mentioned. But he's got the confidence back. He's worked real hard on getting softer when he needs to. One of the tricks that he told us about the other night, Dave, was that he'll spread his index finger out as far as he can to increase roll. Let's see if we can take a look at what he's doing with his index finger here. There you go.
You can see the oil on that ball as well, the track. And that is going to be a quiet 10-pin for Tommy.
All right. You know, honestly, it's a pretty gutsy move to not follow Dom Barrett in 2 very similar games. He decides, you know what, I'm going to stay the heck away from Dom Barrett. I'm going to go with my own line with urethane.
Covers the 10, the 11-time member of Team USA. Might have also seen him a couple of nights back on the CP3 Chris Paul State Farm Celebrity Invitational. Tommy Bowles there. And with Mookie Betts, who had really impressed everybody with his skills.
Yeah, Mookie throws it pretty nice. I had tons of comments on Twitter and Facebook about Mookie Betts' skill set with the bowling ball.
And you might get some about Dom Barrett's skill set with the ball as well.
They got better than that. All right, 32, same deal.
So Barrett chasing PBA Tour title number 5, major number 2. DJ Tackett, a major champion, is the #1 seed.
Push.
When he is missed, he has crossed all the way over on that lane.
Slip.
It looked like he grabbed it. His hand kicked around the side early, and you heard him say push, and that's when a player knows that the ball is left of the intended line. He pays for it. 3-10 split. If you're going to shoot a split, this is the easiest one to shoot at.
And it is made to look easy there by the skills of the Englishman, Dom Barrett. So Tommy Jones has not won a major in 10 years, but he is absolutely in contention in this match against Dom Barrett. DJ Tackett awaiting the winner. Say hello to Chris Skillings. He is the Fire Lake Bowling Center Director. And players love bowling at Fire Lake. So Tommy Jones down 8. Barrett having converted at 3-10. Off to the right lane here for TJ. With the urethane right up the sidewalk.
A little more up the lane on that shot. Tommy finally gets the 10 out.
Always difficult to come back from a break and nail it, but he did.
Yeah, great shot here by TJ, and he can take the lead with one more just like it on the left lane.
You can see the oil on his ball just glistening on the approach to the pins.
Urethane bowling balls push oil down the lane. Reactive resin absorbs oil. Tommy Jones is looking for a mistake area left with this bowling ball.
Let's go! Double for TJ, his first one of the match. And Jones into the lead by 2. Might as well be a little bit fired up. Now Dom Barrett trying to respond. And he does. Kicks aside the 10.
Big question is, what does he do on the left lane? He's gone through the nose there in the 6th frame. He has to finish the match on the left lane. He is dialed in on the right.
He struck 3 times in 4 visits to the right lane. He does have a strike on the left lane in this match. Well, a nice reaction there for Dom Barrett. He doubles right back at Tommy Jones. PBA's Extra Frame is your home for exclusive live coverage of the PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA tours starting Tuesday and continuing all week on Extra Frame. It's this year's 3rd major, the USBC Masters. Yearly, monthly, and 3-day subscriptions are available. Just click on the Extra Frame link in the menu section of PBA.com for more information. I assume you'll be spending some time with Marshall Holman in Vegas?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, folks, it's like pennies a day for Extra Frame.
And for hours of bowling and great commentary. And again, Tommy Jones, speaking of dialed in on the right lane, he qualifies that as well.
Tommy Jones is going to take a re-rack. And he's just trying to decompress. He's got pretty pumped up after that double, and then he follows it up with a great shot there on the right lane.
That's his 2nd re-rack.
2 and done. Players are only allowed 2 per game. Tommy Jones max score 249. Dom Barrett max score 247. Watch the way Tommy puts his hand in the bowling ball.
What's unique about it?
He puts his thumb in first. He screws in the thumb sideways. There you go, like that. His thumb goes in first, finger second.
And then watch the index finger spread that he told us about, and Randy pointed that out earlier. Oh, them alive.
You hear what he said when he let go of it? Hook a little. It's perfect. Great shot by Tommy Jones here. A great athletic move that he has at the bottom of the swing. The eyes always get bigger when the brain knows that it's done something really well. As a player, you watch the ball headed for the pocket.
Well, Don Barrett just went through this drill a few minutes ago. Yeah, no, the messenger dropped off.
Yeah, that's the tight lane, and that ball pushed just a little bit too far down, coming in a little bit behind the head pin, and there's the 6 goes to the sidewall and just lays dead in the gutter.
But that lane had been his best pal in this match, and he's not going to get the strike on it. Now he's got to shift over to the left and finish.
All right, come on, relax that
perfectly.
Well, it looks like the left lane, all he has to do is make sure that he gets it right.
Come on now.
Max scored now 226. Tommy Jones is at 229. Tommy first strike in the 10th frame. It doesn't matter what Don Barrett does here. He'll be in the 230s and he will have advanced the title match. But right now, Don Barrett wants to give him something to think about.
He did.
Tremendous hand at the bottom of the swing for both Tommy Jones and Don Barrett. That effortless power by Dom. Watch this hand and what it does. The follow through that goes a little left and then back to the right. Great rotation and power.
So chasing that 226 for Barrett, and he will take a re-rack on the left lane.
All right.
Left.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's light, left, everything wrong there, leaving the 5-pin behind and making it a lot easier for Tommy Jones.
TJ needs a mark. If Tommy Jones were to go 9, miss, we'd have a tie. Any mark right here for Tommy Jones, and he will move on to the title match against EJ Tackett. See what he's doing there with sandpaper. He roughs up the back of the thumb hole to give himself a nice feel. He does that with all of his equipment. Doesn't matter if it's urethane or reactive resin. And right now the best mark would be 10 in the pit for TJ.
Been very successful on that right lane, and there's 10 down, and Tommy Jones has advanced to the Tournament of Champions championship match. So it'll be TJ-EJ with EJ Tackett, the player of the year from 2016, and Tommy Jones, who's won that award himself, head-to-head with a Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions next match. Championship match time at the Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions in Shawnee, Oklahoma, to determine who will win another major. Will it be EJ Tackett for his second major championship, or could it be Tommy Jones trying to end a 10-year drought and pick up a third major championship? We got a great basketball game too on the American Conference agenda at 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. UConn versus Temple in Philadelphia, to be seen streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Well, here he is at 24 years old. Might be the hottest player in bowling, EJ Tackett.
This is what he did at the World Championships as Tom Smallwood made that huge run to try to climb up the ladder. EJ just shut the door on him with a big 240 finish.
And a redemptive victory for EJ after he had lost the championship match the year before. He is standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I am laneside with EJ. So this is the first time you're making a show since being voted Player of the Year. You're sitting in the #1 seed, and I saw you standing over there watching a few of the previous matches. What did you learn, if anything, that you can apply to your match?
I just learned the difference in these two lanes. The left lane's definitely hooking more. Right lane's pretty tight, so I feel like I've mapped it out pretty well, and just got to go execute my shots now.
All right, well, good luck to you today.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, thank you, Kimberly, very much. We'll take a look at TJ and EJ, and you see that they have quite a bit in common.
A lot of similarities here. 3 Japan Cup wins. EJ just got his first one. I'll tell you what EJ also has that Tommy Jones just found again, and that's confidence.
6 of the last 7 major championships on the PBA Tour were won by players 25 or younger. Tackett fits in that category. He's 24. Tommy Jones at 38. Last major was the 2007 PBA Tournament of Champions in Connecticut. He also has won the U.S. Open.
Oh, a lot.
It did.
He didn't expect that. Tommy Jones is going to dance with the one he brung. He's staying with urethane from the outside part of the lane, and I think that really surprised him. That's a good thing.
You'll be able to see both these players, by the way, in PBA League. EJ Tackett with the Barbasol Motown Muscle, and Tommy with the Shipyard Dallas Strikers. Want a little rev rate on your Sunday afternoon? We found it with EJ Tackett. We've also found Dom Barrett, who's standing by with Kimberly.
That's right, I'm with Dom. So Dom, you know, you had some good shots in your first match, and you had you carried a Brooklyn at one point. You had some good conversions, but you had that stone 9 in the third in this last match. How much did that affect your mentality?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been out there for 2 matches. You see a lot of the lane, a lot of play, and at the beginning I had the right lane being quite hard to hook the ball on, and the left lane I thought was pretty good. There was a hook spot, and then it kind of got actually to a point where the right lane had a really good hook spot, and then every time I moved left on the left lane, it just hooked more. So the left lane actually became a bit trickier than the right one. So you're going to see that from EJ now, and yeah, happy with how I bowled. Would have liked to have kept up with transition on the left lane a little bit better.
Any predictions for this match?
Well, Tommy's using urethane. He kind of saw this coming, I guess, so he decided to stay away from that, and EJ's going to have to bowl a good game and figure out the left lane pretty quick if he's going to beat Tommy Jones.
All right, well, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week at the Masters.
Thank you.
Guys?
And Dom, thank you for the bonus analysis. We certainly appreciate that as Tackett kicks aside the 10 on that conversion on that troublesome left lane.
Lots and lots of friction on the left lane, and I'm not sure if EJ saw enough of that in practice as we take a look at what Tommy Jones has done in his career in title matches. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, anytime he gets on television, he is pretty studly.
Can I have a re-rack? I'll take the shot clock. Can't have a re-rack. Okay.
Cannot have a re-rack. That has to be your first order of business. Once you go to the bowling ball, you cannot ask for a re-rack.
He just sort of re-racked them himself.
He's got a really good look, and he's comfortable. What a choice Tommy Jones decided to make when he said, you know what? I think I'm going to play around first era with urethane. You guys have fun playing in.
Well, he's created his own tournament in a way.
Yeah.
The Tommy Jones Invitational. At the moment, he's leading it.
A lot.
Every time he asks for it, he gets it.
Let's go!
Perfect start for Jones.
I'd like to order some urethane with a side of pin carry, please.
Available in Shawnee, that's for sure. Take a look at EJ Tackett's arsenal, and out of that foursome, he is going with the Octane Carbon.
And Motive Tour consultant Brett Spangler told me that EJ actually has 4 of these here with him this week use the same ball all week long.
Oh my God. He kicked aside about 4 splits. I have to see this one again. This is insane what you just watched.
Take a look at this pin carry. Here's the squirrel just getting all over it at the bottom. But watch this. Oh, man. Yep. Even EJ was a little surprised at that.
Well, he's sitting in that #1 position. A secret source reached out to me today and said out of about 1,100 television shows that my source has tracked, the top seed wins about 49% of the time. 10 straight in the pit that time.
Care to give up your source?
It's a Hall of Famer.
Or is he in the witness protection
he is
program?
not in the witness protection program. That would be one Nelson Burton Jr., sir.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
may have,
I've heard of him.
Yes, I think it's about everybody watching this telecast has.
I bet you he's watching right now.
I don't doubt that for a second down in Florida, where he is. Guy bowls about 4 or 5 nights a week.
Yeah, Bo's still a stud. What a great match we have all of a sudden here. EJ Tackett, if he can continue to strike on the left lane, I think we're going to have a great title match.
He didn't have to tell it to hook a lot. The ball's just listening. Tommy's perfect through 4. And now he'll get the re-rack, this time without grabbing the bowling ball.
There's a procedure right there where you move over to the next lane or to the left lane, and it's your first order of business.
So you take a look at Tommy's career, throw that in. He is one of only 5 players in Tour history to be the Rookie of the Year and the Player of the Year in his career. EJ Tackett has done that. Mike Albee, Chris Barnes, Jason Belmonte.
You can actually hear him cramming that thumb into the thumb hole.
What about it, Messenger?
Straight up the 6th board. With that angle and Tommy's power, even with urethane, you would think he could get that 10 pin out. You see the 6 was a little soft in the Messenger in front. But a nice start to this title match for TJ.
Oh my gosh.
Except for that.
He looked a little funky at the approach there. Did he stick?
Put a piece of tape in.
Well, he just said put a piece of tape, and he probably grabbed this at the bottom, and then as soon as you do that, it's going to be left.
Boy, the ultimate, you didn't see that coming at all. And EJ Tackett's been given a gift. But we still have a lot of bowling left in this championship match. And he crosses over and leaves the 310.
Made sure you did it, didn't you? Gosh darn it, EJ. All right, come on.
When a player knows that they're a little tight down lane to the right, this is the tendency. He didn't get far enough to the right and went through the nose, leaving the baby split. Last thing you want to do is open after your opponent. Nice cover.
Yeah, that's like scoring 4 runs in the 5th inning and giving back 3 runs in that same inning. Same idea.
Absolutely.
But Tackett did not do that. And you see what he has done in majors and is the all-time top seed in stepladder finals.
It was nice to see EJ avenge his loss at the World Championships. You know, he led 2 years ago, lost to Gary Faulkner Jr., and then came back this past season, 2016, to clip Tom Smallwood.
It's just fat in the pocket right there.
You know, EJ is able to do things with a bowling ball that that other players that use their thumb can't do. I mean, he creates such a tremendous amount of revolutions that his bowling ball almost looks like it's hydroplaning.
And a slender build.
Slender. He's like $1.25. And he throws 16 pounds. That needs to hook.
I thought just for a half a second that 2-pin might get a back tap, but not the case. Yeah, that was way right, even for the way he's been succeeding.
See, I would have thought that Tommy's mistake area would have been more left than right. And he did get a couple shots a little wide on the left lane that got back, but not to be on the right lane, which is a little tighter down lane.
He makes extra sure that that single pin is covered after having whiffed on a 10-pin, but he is still leading by 9. Although Tackett is off a strike. Take a look at the big board after 6 here in Oklahoma. A lot of history in this state with the PBA Tour. A lot of events have been contested here. More coming in the summer. The tour will be back. The Oklahoma Open. Don't look out, buddy.
No way.
That came from Stillwater.
No way does that urethane ball get back from there. He continues to miss right of target when I think the miss is left. And he, well, I mean, this fooled me, which is not that hard to do. I get that, but how does that ball get back from there?
Only he knows. Or does he?
Gosh, darn it, EJ.
Well, the tour is not going to fine him for foul language, that's for sure. 3-6-10 left behind.
No, gosh darn it, you can say, but EJ is not getting the ball to the right. And that's why he's so disgusted with the last 2 shots he's thrown on the right lane. This is where you just, like, if you could, you just want to punch yourself in the face.
And look out, there we go.
Come on. Come on, EJ.
So a little pep talk for the 4-time tour titleist last year. The Expert Frame Storm Open, the Bear Open, the Team Challenge in Vegas, and of course the big one in December in Reno, the PBA World Championship at the National Bowling Stadium.
Both of these players also have tons of success here at Fire Lake.
Yeah, you saw he was 5th in this event last year, Tackett. That looks better.
Well, he knows that lane hooks, and so he can stay firm and have that confidence. But he also knows the right lane's tight down lane. He has to be softer. He's much better when he can be aggressive.
Don't walk away from it and be soft. How do you read that?
Okay, so he doesn't want to walk too far away from his swing, because when he does that, he projects to the left. Stay soft with the speed.
Slow. Ooh, slow, and I think he's fortunate to leave the 10-pin.
That was real slow.
Well, you heard him say it. This ball looked like it was on a really good line. And Tommy Jones said he threw it too slow.
That'll be the lane he finishes on. He missed the 10-pin earlier. Not this time.
I haven't seen a lot of really good things happen to players when they miss single pin spares in title matches. And it'll be interesting to see if it will cost Tommy Jones when this match is all said and done.
He had opened with 4 in a row and then had the 10 and missed it. You got a great look at how far right he is playing that shot. And he'll end his relationship with the left lane with a strike.
There it is, 4.5 board. And a nice break trip in the 4. That gives Tommy a possibility of 237 if he strikes out in the 10th frame. EJ Tackett can strike in the 9th and strike out in the 10th. He will shoot 238. Question is, can E.J. Tackett throw it to the right and get it back on this right lane? Nope.
Gotta hurry. Is it an issue where he doesn't trust the shot?
That's exactly what it is, Dave. He doesn't trust that if he gets it to the right, it's going to get back. That's 3 identical shots in a row that he's made on this lane.
And the only difference being the time the 3-pin got tapped. Even more frustrating, he knows that he can still win this match. He just needs to string together a couple, and he's not able to do it as he'll attack and score.
Well, if he strikes out in the 10th frame, he'll force Tommy Jones to get the first strike in the 10th. He's taking a re-rack. He's going to give Tommy plenty of time on the bench, but also give himself plenty of time to compose himself and make a good shot. But 3 in the 10th here, he shoots .218. Tommy Jones goes spare strike, he shoots .217.
Take a look very quickly on the left lane. EJ 7 spare, then a strike, and a strike. So he's, as you mentioned, he seems to have this lane figured out. And you can see the difference in the track of the shot.
He knows that he can throw it firm and he can throw it to the right. The ball's always going to get back. Next shot is huge, but quite honestly, he needs 2 more to force Tommy Jones, who the last time on the right lane went through the nose. He would force Tommy Jones to throw the first strike. We've had some great matches all day that have come down to the 10th frame, and this title match is shaping up to be a great finish to another Tournament of Champions.
Light and not the 10 pin.
Darn it! Tommy Jones just needs a mark.
It was on Tackett's racket, so to speak, and left just came in a little light. And he's got to get his head together here to take care of this 10 pin. He does. Well, the last time you said Tommy Jones needed a mark to win, he knocked 10 down and moved on to this match against E.J. Tackett. He's pretty upset with himself right now. He's got to feel like his chance at another major may have gone by, but Tommy Jones still has a little work to do. Trying to end a 10-year major championship drought.
That's what I thought.
Oh, buddy. He's going to have to earn it.
He made a move off of the shot that went high, and the ball went 60 feet. He has to make this washout, or E.J. Tackett wins sitting on the bench. Here's the move. That was right around 7-8 board, and the ball never read.
We missed the head pin.
Unbelievable.
He needed a mark to win, and E.J. Tackett is the champion. Absolute shock. The way this match finished. E.J. Tackett has taken it. He is a major champion again. His second major, his second win on tour already this year, and at 24. He has done it again in a fashion that I just can hardly believe. It took a second to sink in. And already 7 titles for E.J. Tackett at just 24 years old. A painful loss for Tommy Jones. For E.J. Tackett, he will take it. An absolute stunner. Tommy Jones needed a mark in the 10th frame in order to capture the Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions. He left a washout and then could not convert that washout, Randy, and everybody here is just slack-jawed right now.
Remember back when I mentioned the missed 10 pin?
Yes, you did.
If he makes that 10th frame doesn't matter. It's over.
Yeah, he opened with 4 straight. And as difficult as it had to be for Tommy, he still had a little love for your champion, E.J. Tackett, who's standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I am also joined by recently inducted Hall of Famer Brian Goebel and PBA Commissioner Tom Clark for the trophy presentation.
EJ, on behalf of the PBA and from one Tournament of Champions winner to the newest, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you, guys. EJ, all right, so it's the first time that I've seen you really shocked. You won this sitting on the bench. What went through your mind when you threw that ball in the 10th?
I knew I needed, after I missed on the right lane, I knew I needed to at least double to make Tommy throw the first one. And, you know, Tommy's a good friend of mine. It was a great match. What he did in the 10th frame was unexpected. He's